The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
This is a Planet Fanatix production.
First thing we're going to talk about today is just going to be the stuff going on with, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about Madam Web. I have not seen the film. I tried to watch it today. I was going to do my due diligence. As you guys know, I always come on here and say I do not like reviewing or talking about things unless I have seen it myself. I don't like going off of other people's opinions. I like to form my own opinion. I have not seen Madam Web. I've seen the trailers. I've seen the behind-the-scenes stuff. I've seen Dakota Johnson saying how she hasn't seen the film. She doesn't know if she plans on seeing the film. I've seen Sydney Sweeney talking about how she's disillusioned, thinking that this shit takes place in the MCU. I've seen a lot of the shit going on. I just have not seen the film itself. I can't even watch it because, I mean, I could go to the theater and watch it, but I'm not paying to watch it. And secondly, I tried to watch it on the bootleg site. They're not even playing it. So, like, Madam Web is a deal where I think this time, and we're going to get to the Spider-Man stuff of all of it, Sony has really shot themselves in the foot when it comes to Madam Web. The film grossed lower than Morbius. There's sequel talks. For what reasons, I couldn't tell you. From my understanding, this was something that Liam told us in the last stream. And again, I saw a lot of people saying the same thing, that the scenes of the girls in their suits, using their powers and all that, that is literally what you see in the trailers, what you see in the movie. It is no more than that. It is just them in their costumes. It is, it's a premonition. The movie is a fucking premonition of Madam Web seeing the future. What a fucking bait and switch. And again, I'm so glad I didn't pay for this.
I was going to say, that's why they fuck around need another movie.
Right.
The next movie, fuck around, be the real one.
Right.
Not saying I'm expecting anything good from it, but first trailer dropped. We can go watch our reaction, but I don't know my exact first words, but I watched that shit and told you, like, man, I'm no longer interested in this shit. Like, I told you I wasn't watching it when I see from the jump. Like, I don't know what it was about it. It wasn't even necessarily the look of it, because I've seen bad trailers and the movies have been decent or good or watchable or whatever. But
yeah, because you watched Morbius. It
was just the fact of what I knew of the plot leak from behind it. We knew no Spider-Man really. Then I seen all that and was like, you know, I genuinely am not interested in what this plot looks to be. Like, no. I just don't care. And that's kind of, I feel like that's been Sony. Like, that's Sony all around. I don't really care for anything they're putting out. I mean, I guess you could say the animated side, but that well's gonna run dry. That shit's gonna run dry.
I mean,
with Miles, it's not gonna last forever. And if they think they're gonna be able to switch that animated hype to another character, and no,
I mean,
not with the shit I've been hearing from James Gunn.
Right, everything that pretty much was said about the film, I feel like all three of us pretty much predicted before it even dropped. I mean, you can't have a Spider-Man movie with no Spider-Man. No. You just can't.
No, and that's why, you know, I've said these things so many times. You know, and again, I say this, I feel like this has been the norm of the streams. I feel like it's been a lot of bashing, a lot of what's going on, a lot of this and a lot of that. And I've said this before, but I mean this. And again, my dollar doesn't mean shit. My 17, it does not mean shit in the grand scheme of things.
Right. It does.
My thing is this, though. I'm talking about to Sony. They're not missing my $15. They're like that's a multi-billion. They're not missing my $15. The thing is, with all of the Sony movies that they're doing, I can promise you, and again, it doesn't matter with my money, but I'm not entertaining Sony anymore. Like, and I've already said that with Madam Web. I'm not going to see that, but I'm not entertaining this bullshit. I'm not going to continue to give my money and give time and talk and do all this shit, because the score is currently sitting at a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. 13 fucking percent. Again, I've not seen the movie, but just from the things I have seen,
you're not interested.
0%, and it's frustrating because what it is, it's Sony showing us as the audience, we don't give a fuck about this IP. let's take ourselves back to 2019 when Sony took Spider-Man away from Marvel, when Kevin Feige and the MCU and everybody had to go through that big to-who, trying to talk to Sony, trying to do all these renegotiations of contracts and everything like that. We are sitting in, before I get to that, we're sitting in the same spot currently, but let me move a little bit. Dakota Johnson did an interview. This was on TikTok. You can go watch that video. I should have actually, let me go ahead and pull it, because I believe I do have it. But Dakota Johnson did an interview, and this was on TikTok that I saw this interview. She did an interview where she was talking about the film, and this is what she had to say.
I haven't actually seen the movie.
Haven't you? When you go to a premiere, do you sit there or do you go out the back door and go to a nice restaurant?
I'll go to have dinner.
I know.
Self-no honesty. Yeah, I probably won't. I don't know when I'll see it. Someday.
But have you watched your other movies?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't like to.
Well, I was going to say, your parents are actors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever taken advice from them, or is it a way to keep grounded? Is it a way to not see yourself on the big screen and to not believe the hype?
Oh, for me, it's a way to not have like an existential crisis.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not watching my movies is like self-care.
Okay. Do you not Google yourself as well?
No, God, no.
No, you never do.
Oh my God, no.
Now, she could be serious. She could be saying, you know, like, I don't watch my films or whatever. And a lot of actors and actresses have said that. Like, I don't feel comfortable watching myself. It makes me feel weird. I critique, all that kind of stuff. But you couple this with a lot of the other things Dakota Johnson has said in the past few weeks, as far as, like, how she said it's psychotic that they filmed it completely on a green screen. She doesn't know what this film's going to look like. She has no desire to see the film. I don't, you know, even if it's her saying she doesn't want to see herself on the film, in the film. Everyone has seen the comments made about Madam Web, including the actors, actresses, writers, directors, and everything like that. Everybody has seen what has been said about Madam Web. And nothing's been kind. And I'm sure she's well aware of that way before the comments and things started coming out about Madam Web. Chris Stuckman, everybody knows who Chris Stuckman is. Chris Stuckman is a movie reviewer on YouTube. I've watched his before, but Stuckman made a video where he said he's not going to bash Madam Web, and he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that, because there were a lot of people that worked on the film that he felt, as a movie maker himself, he was like, well, I'm not going to bash the film, I'm going to just, you know, without bashing it. And I've seen a lot of people going at Stuckman saying, you know, like, oh, well, you know, you're wrong, you should do this, you should do that. I'm on the other side of the fence on that. Like, I agree. At the same time, as a movie reviewer, it is your job to review movies. It's your job to give, you know, your viewers an honest opinion of what you thought of the film. That's why they go to you. Exactly. A bad movie is a bad movie.
Right.
But at the end of the day, one thing I am on the side of is, if that's that man's opinion. I mean, who really gives a fuck if he thinks the movie's good? I've just seen so many people bashing him and so many people making videos talking about how he's wrong and he's this and that. And again, he may be wrong in the review part, but you can't tell him he's wrong in his opinion. If he thinks that the film is decent enough, then that's his prerogative. That's his money. That's what he sat down and viewed. There were people that will tell you that Morbius is good. I'm, on the other hand, I can't tell you that. I haven't seen Morbius. I won't see Morbius. I won't see this either. I can't tell. You know, so I think it's his opinion. I think people that have their own opinions on these things, I mean, again, it's opinions are like assholes, or the one I always use, opinions are like orgasms. I only give a fuck about mine.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, I definitely get what he's saying, though, but I don't know. It's, my point of view on it is it's different, because I don't agree with them in the sense of, oh, there's a lot of people who put their time into this, blah, yada, yada. Because if I go to work and I don't do my job, I'm going to get bashed. Like, that's not personal. If you go to work and you do a shitty job, you're gonna get bashed. It's not even personal. I mean, you know, you get on internet and you see niggas taking it personal and shit, but I mean, on like the real level, it's really never personal. It's always about what you put out. But then I agree with them in the sense of, like you said, it's his opinion. I mean, you can't tell him he's right or wrong. But it's just, I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie. if that's his opinion, I mean, I can simply say I don't disagree with it because I haven't watched it, and I'm gonna tell you that shit's not good. I don't think anyone can tell you it's a good movie. Like, plot, a good movie from start to finish? No. Like, I disagree. Like,
no, not at all. And like I said, you know, it's the
like,
bait
my
and switch
opinion,
too.
like, and that's where I was like, I can disagree because my opinion is I can tell him he's wrong. Like, and I feel like you feel the same way because I remember you had this argument with Trey one time. You're like, you could tell me I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but the whole time I'm not changing my opinion.
Exactly. Like,
so it's just, it's not even like to go to that extreme ass level or anything, but it's just when something's not good, you don't have to look for little good bright points in it or something. Like, it's okay to something's
take
not
that
good. Like,
yeah, just take that out.
it's okay to hate on things that aren't good. Like, I'll say it.
Yeah, and then like I said, the bait and switch deal as well. Moving it
continuously.
It's continuous. Like I said, they don't give a shit about this franchise, which moves me into where we currently are with Spider-Man 4. The stuff going on with Spider-Man 4, and I'm wrapping this in with Madam Web because it's both Sony Spider-Man. Sony is at odds. We've talked about this the last time we talked about Spider-Man 4 and Marvel. They are wanting to do a multiversal film where Kevin Feige and company are wanting to do a more grounded level film with Spider-Man, where we as fans, and I said this the last time we talked about it, me personally, as much as Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, I don't want to see Andrew again until I feel it's necessary to see Andrew, unless it's a solo Spider-Man film of his. I don't need to see Andrew team back up with Tobey and Tom right after I saw that in 2021 in the next film. I want to see the grounded Spider-Man. I want to see him fight Kingpin, hang out with Daredevil, all that street level shit. Yeah, I know I know that they want him to be a multiversal character, as if the rumors are true. You know, we've talked about that for a while, that they want Tom Holland to be one of the leads in Avengers 5 and 6. So, and if the rumors are still true, then we know that Spider-Man 4 leads into all the multiversal stuff going on in Secret Wars and Avengers 5 and everything else. And
that's why, not to cut you off here, you have to be able to cameo Spider-Man. Like, you simply have to be able to have him in other people's stories. Like, if he's going to be in that street level type storyline, it can't just be his movie. It has to be in Daredevil. It has to be in whatever. It has to be in Cap. Whatever takes place in New York. It has to be. If it's in New York, he's there. Like, I just don't see why we've been avoiding that. And then the second point is, with all the Batman Joker news that came out, I mean, we're about to have 3 Jokers, none in the same universe. Don't know why Marvel can't do the same with Spider-Man.
Well, that's what we're getting to there. As we all know, Sony owns Spider-Man. And Marvel right now wants the multiversal film. Or Sony wants the multiversal film. Marvel doesn't. It's going to be a multiversal film.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to be a multiversal film. And the reason being is because if Marvel says no, they are right back in 2019. They can take Spider-Man away if they want to.
Right.
Sony can take Spider-Man away tomorrow if they want to. Like, they don't have to stay with the MCU. If they better example. Tom Holland's contract is with Sony. It is not with Disney. It is not with Marvel. Disney and Marvel may be mentioned, but that dotted line that he signed is not with those two.
Right.
So if Sony wanted to say, hey, no more Spider-Man in the MCU, you don't get him in Kang Dynasty, you don't get him. Actually, let me rephrase that. I do believe that the contract that was signed still has him in at least 2 more projects. Maybe 2 or 3 more projects. It's the contract that was signed back in 2019. But after this, if they don't want to do anything else with Marvel, Spider-Man-wise, they don't have to.
Right.
They don't have to. So that is where Marvel kind of has to bend the knee to Sony and say, you know, I mean, of course, Kevin Feige, I'm sure, behind the scenes are arguing about, you know, no, we want this or we want that. Is Sony wrong, though, in wanting the multiversal film? The only reason I say that is because Marvel's down bad. right now. I don't care what news has come out about what's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. Right. So Marvel is still down bad. Sony is down even worse. Sony's trying to get a W. They don't understand the IP that they have, but they're trying to get a W. Only thing that Sony understands about this IP is that it puts money in their pockets. They don't have any other clue about the Spider-Man IP. Right. Only thing they know is it puts money in our pockets. So what they're looking at is, okay, No Way Home made over $1 billion. We put it out a second weekend and it did great numbers. So why are we not doing a multiversal film? You guys are in the multiversal era right now. You're about to move into Secret Wars. You're about to move into Kang Dynasty. All these other films are multiversal as far as like Doctor Strange 3, Fantastic Four, what are some of the other ones? I think Shang-Chi is even going to have multiversal elements and things in it. So if all these films are multiversal, you're trying to do this multiversal thing, you're moving towards Secret Wars, why are we doing a grounded level Spider-Man? If it's especially if it's supposed to lead into, and I'm talking as Sony, that's not me. I still don't want a multiversal Spider-Man 4. But Sony's thinking money. Sony's thinking money. Sony's thinking the current climate that you're in the multiversal saga. So why would we not bring these guys back in? Why would we not make this a multiversal film? To where Kevin Feige and company are on the other hand saying, we've done this, we did that. We're trying to actually make flesh Spider-Man out.
Yeah. My response to that would be, my opinion is you wait to do that. I mean, and it's like, me telling Sony, my argument would simply be, I mean, Secret Wars is now, and I want to wait till we get to more of the Kang stuff and all that, but it's like, kind of dating back to what we talked about before. There shouldn't never have been a Kang's Dynasty. It always needed to be Secret Wars Part 1, 2, and if need be, 3. Like, that's how it always should have ended. And so, Marvel, knowing they want to use all three Spider-Mans, men, whatever you want to call it, they want to use Tobey and Andrew. So Sony's going to be contracted in that to make money. We know, that's just looking at everything right now, we know Deadpool's coming. If I was Sony, I would let Marvel do what they want to do first and see how that gamble plays out, because the opportunity to add all three of them on screen together is going to be there in a bigger element. Like, not saying like if all three of them were in Spider-Man 4 and it was a multiversal film, it wouldn't be as big as the last one. But it's going to be bigger in Secret Wars. Secret Wars is going to be big regardless if it's good or bad. It's going to put asses in seat. All the trailers are going to drop. We're going to know all the cameos. We're going to have all the stuff that's coming out before. And so it's just, that would be my argument to them. It's just wait on it. If what we're doing doesn't work now, that opportunity is there later. Sony's not going broke anytime soon, the next 5, 6 years. They can wait on that check. And so that would just be my argument to them. It's not necessarily the biggest reach right now, especially coming off of Madam Web and coming off of how Marvel's been doing. I don't know if it's like, oh, we've been doing bad, let's hear Spider-Man. No backstory elements, just here. Like, yeah, it'll satisfy a general audience and bring money in your pockets, but the true comic fans and people like us who sit and talk with people in the comments who debate all this and spend time and money on figures and stuff like that, it would be a disservice to actual fans and stuff like that. And so my opinion's always been, you go to the street level is there right now. That's what you brought Kingpin and Daredevil in for, in my opinion. I don't think you brought them into the MCU to still be on their own.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I agree. As far as like the stuff going on, and this one I'm closing, the stuff going on with Sony, you've got, I'm just gonna kind of TLDR what we know. Supposed to get the symbiote suit in Avengers 5, I believe. That is how Eddie Brock is going to be brought into the multiverse in the MCU. This is what we've heard. Through that, the piece of the symbiote that is still in the MCU, if it is, that piece of him is supposed to find its way to Tom. Supposed to then become the black suit, Tom Venom suit in 5, or maybe I don't know when it's happening in 5. sometimes Secret Wars into 5, wherever. And then that is how Tom Hardy's Venom is supposed to find the MCU Spider-Man and then enter the MCU and then be in Secret Wars as well. So, and, you know, we've even got Feige talking about wanting to put, I don't know why, this is not news. This is not news. It's kind of like that Vision shit. People talking about, oh, Kevin Feige wants to put Deadpool and Wolverine in Secret Wars. Well, duh.
Yeah.
What? Why? What? None of that shit's news to me. Like, it's Secret Wars.
Everybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like every time we see some of this shit that's posted on Instagram or Twitter, it's kind of like, damn.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all are.
Oh,
this is.
We've been doing this for months.
And it's not even. I'm not even trying to sit and like make it sound like braggadocious, like, oh, we do what
there
we
be
do.
some new
yeah.
shit.
There's
We obviously
there's
get
stuff
our
that
news.
we don't know.
We get our news from somewhere.
But as a comic book reader, Secret Wars, when you say like this person's gonna be in, well, duh.
Yeah, like,
it's Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Of course they're gonna be in there. Like, and of course it's not gonna be the comic accurate Secret Wars. Deadpool is not in the comic accurate Secret Wars, but we are in the MCU. So I mean,
like, we didn't watch non-accurate Civil War,
right?
Non-accurate Infinity War,
right. So it's like. That shit's not news to me. But as far as the closing of what Sony's doing, you still got Venom 3. Who knows who? To be honest, don't give a shit. You've still got El fucking Morto. Gives 0 El fucks. You've still got Kraven the Animal Activist. Keep that shit.
Right.
Keep it.
What do we need this for?
Whatever the Madam Web sequel is, if that's being talked about at Sony right now.
Dead.
You can keep that as well.
Nothing. The Spider-less universe, the Spider-Man-less universe, it's dead.
Right.
Like, we entertained it with Venom. We entertained it with Venom. Let There Be Carnage. I didn't even really care for that. We entertained it with... Y'all entertained it, for those of you that watch Morbius. I was going to. I was so fucking hard on Morbius. Fucked it up. All of it's gone. It's all gone. So, we don't have... when it comes to Sony, when it comes to Madam Web... Again, I haven't seen it, not going to see it.
Hypno Hustler.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Hypno Hustler shit. All that is, if that's even still on the table, I don't know. I don't care. But maybe you do. Your mileage may vary. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Do you care about Madam Web? Have you seen Madam Web? Are you going to see Madam Web? Do you care about anything else that Sony's got planned on their slate? Or are you just like, fuck Sony, fuck them, I'm gonna leave it with that. What do you think? Do you think that they should give the IP back to Marvel? Let us know what you guys think down below.